or more advanced calculations. What type of chart type should you use for this particular type of data? And something that I realized after, I think, too many years, but it was so easy to build so much stuff in Tableau that I added all kinds of cool functionality and features and colors and maps and everything. But the visual best practice, you shouldn't use a map just because you can, or you shouldn't use colors just because you can. So to know all of these things, and also then to build and create things quickly, don't spend 3 weeks, do something that should take a couple of weeks, and incorporate these best practices. This is one of the ways to become a data rock star or a Jedi. And as I said, there's so many best practices out there, so many rules to follow. And now also with all the new features coming with Tableau and the easy access of now adding Sankey diagrams or adding bee swarm diagrams or radial charts, etc. The whole concept of Tableau's helping people see and understand data, we should be careful of not adding stuff because it looks cool, especially if it doesn't convey the data as it should be. And then, as I said, you can become a Jedi, you can become a data rock star, or you can go even a further step, way beyond being even an ambassador. You can become a visionary, where you demonstrate mastery, you collaborate with others, you share all your knowledge, you write blog posts, you reinvent stuff that even Tableau didn't know was available or possible to do with Tableau. And then you can become one of those visionaries, where there are, can't remember exactly how many there are, but the 2024 visionaries were announced now not too long ago, where a multitude of those also are now in the Hall of Fame. Or you can not maybe aspire that high, or don't have the all that time available, even though I have to say, being a Tableau user group leader, that takes a lot of time, and but it also gives back quite a lot, because you meet a lot of interesting people, you learn a lot, you can share your knowledge, and you can also learn from others. So there's also these Tableau ambassadors. I thought I saw some student ambassador also join this call, at least. And those ambassadors, there's a multitude of those all over the world. I'm not sure how many there are in the south of Africa, but in Norway so far only one. Then again, we're only 5 million people in Norway, so maybe that's the reason why there's not that many nerds, Tableau nerds, working with Tableau as long as as I have. So those are the things you can aspire to if you not only would like to skill up, but also like to share, like to train, like to certify, and combine this with collaboration with other people. And I remember when I started with Tableau in version 7, it took me 15 minutes to install, connect to the data, and build a dual axis chart, which no other tool that I had available could do. My boss at the time called it Excel on speed, and I realized this was really fun. It was an easy tool to use, and we were a partner of Tableau, or have been ever since. And then we realized we sell this self-service tool, which is, off the shelf, drag and drop. It's so easy to use. But people then started to go to YouTube or go to the internet to try to figure out, how can I do this? How can I do that? But we also saw that when people actually in one or the same organization, everybody gets their knowledge from 10 or 15 or 20 different places, it tends to be that when they start building stuff, they haven't shared the knowledge in between them. They haven't built a Tableau in the same way, the way Tableau should be used, etc. So realized quite early that doing this training for people, so everybody had the kind of the same background, they have the same knowledge, made it a lot easier for adoption of the tool as well. And I prefer on-site training compared to hybrid, but during COVID, then there was a lot of these hybrid or virtual sessions. Um, but the in-person one, you can walk around, you can see that if somebody have are struggling, you can guide and assist them, rather than looking at an empty screen where there's 12 cameras turned off and nobody wants to share the screen to get some help. So training is something that obviously makes you a better developer or an analyst when you actually know all the quirks of using Tableau as well, everything that's available. So you can do self-paced e-learning. You can follow all these paths that are available. I'll get back to that. You can do those live instructor-led training, virtual or in person, and then finally end up doing the certification when you have the experience and the knowledge built there. This is just a random uh, if you look at the name, maybe not, but this is one of the feedback you get, and the idea is not the feedback you get, but when you read this, you see that when you do this training versus looking at e-learning or just a video, you get somebody who knows the tool, knows how it's been used in real life, and not just reading a script based on what the training is. So sharing that and also give feedback to specific questions is something that you get when you do training. If you do these e-learning bits, then you can go through the different learning paths depending on what type of skill do you need or what kind of role do you have. Do you want, or are you going to be a consumer, an analyst, or a designer? Are you going to work on the server? So you're going to be a server admin or a site admin, for example. There's multiple of these different paths that you can follow. And when you finish these, there's a test, and you can take those tests as many times as you like. And then you will get these badges that you can then use to promote yourself. Look at me, I have these skills, I have this background. You can be an ambassador like this, and then you can use this, combine this with a Creedly user, where you can then share this dashboard or share it on social, for example. When we talk about being certified, um, this is something that, of course, it showcases that you have experience. It showcases that you know know what you're talking about, but also something that a lot of people, when they do these certification, they use this to help others as well, co-workers, or attend user groups to share their knowledge, and and do training sessions for others as well. Obviously, if you would like to become a certified trainer, you need to have done trainings, you need to have certifications, so you need to have that kind of check to do that. But also for your personal growth, this is a great way of showcasing that I know what I'm talking about as well. And the same thing as with the learning parts, you can get these badges, but also you do these type of certifications. If you have like a few months of experience, then the Tableau Desktop Specialist could be the way to go. If you also have started to use Tableau Prep, you built quite a lot of dashboards and interactivity, and you know about table calculations and level of detail calculations. You know how to publish stuff to the cloud or to the server, and know about permissions. Then the Tableau Data Analyst would be the next level. And all of these certifications, if you go and check them out, there's a link down here, and I'll share this presentation afterward, if you like. Then you can also see what kind of requirements are there for these certifications, what cost. There's always a cost to do the exams, but also some examples of questions that could be asked during these different type of certifications, basically, so you know what your goal is. If you have no idea how to answer any of the example questions, you should probably study a bit more and use Tableau a bit more. If you work on the server, then it's the Tableau Server Associate, and if you work for a partner, then it's two different other certifications that are available as well. So now you probably then have started to do some training. You've done some hands-on building at your organization, and then you would like to learn more. And you have hopefully uh, the uh, the time to do more learning as well. And then this is one place where Tableau stands out compared to any other tool that I've worked with as well, and that's the community, the data fam, and the community projects. There's so many different type of community projects where um, you don't necessarily have to join and do stuff hands-on, like for the Makeover Monday, Workout Wednesday, or if you're into sports, you can do Sports with Sunday, and so on. The idea is that, as an example for Makeover Monday, every Monday there's a visualization, there's a data set, and then you can build your version of that data set, of that visualization, and see what kind of insight you get. You can then publish this to your Tableau public profile. You can get feedback and information back from the people who run these different type of community projects, and you will be a better Tableau analyst, basically. But you can also have a look at any of the ones that have been published from before. What has actually what do 20 different people do with the exactly the same data set? It's most likely 20 different type of visualizations. So that will also give you some inspiration and some ideas of what you can do with your data. So here are even more. You can look at diversity in data, data plus music. If you are VIS for Vets Data Initiative and so on, there's even one for prep, the prepping data. So if you are if you like to prepare data, then prep and data is also one great community project. User groups, you are at one now, a revamped one. And when you have now signed in, just make sure that there is this upcoming events. So just check this out. There's so many great user groups out there that are doing either hybrid or fully virtual. So if you find something that you're interested in, sign up for that one. Maybe you're not able to join at the exact time it's been run because it's the wrong time zone, or you're busy doing something else, which is all fine. But as long as you've signed up, you will then get the recordings or the slides or whatever afterwards, and you can look at it at your own leisure as well. And like everybody who's running a user group, we are really more than happy to have any of you. If you have a story to tell, you don't have to be a Jedi, you don't have to be an expert, you don't have to be someone who has worked with Tableau for 12 years. Just listening to how you came into Tableau, if you had some struggle with something which you actually have solved, that's more than enough, and you will share your knowledge, and everybody will learn something. There's also a lot of these user groups that do job openings. So the London Tug does that a lot. Data Plus Women do that a lot. There's also one that is called Career Opportunity user group. So if you're looking to change your job, then that's also one way of networking and meeting other people. So then switching over to, since I mentioned job, if you're part of these community projects, if you just have an interest in data, you can use Tableau Public, which is free to sign up to, or you don't even have to sign up. You can just go there. There's 3 million plus visits out there. There's 7 million users, and you can go there and just publish and build your own portfolio, basically. If you sign up, obviously, but that's also free. Zainab from Nigeria, she started using Tableau back in, I think it was 2019. She followed multiple of these community projects, published whatever she did to her Tableau public profile. I think she now has over 80 different visits. And now she works in Spotify and have worked both in Sweden and are now in UK. And she's now also a frequent presenter at user groups and conferences as well. So this is a great way of building a portfolio or even building your own resume. So there's a lot of people who've done this already, creating their own virtual resume in Tableau, also showcasing that you that you know how to use Tableau basically. And when you have your profile, like I have over here, you can then publish visits. You can favorite whatever beautiful visualizations you find out there, so it's easy to find them again. You can follow people that are that are creating great stuff. So whenever they build new stuff, you can find that as well. And if you edit your profile, you can get this hire me button, meaning that if people find your profile or they find a visualization that you published on LinkedIn or X or anywhere else, they go to your Tableau public profile and they find this hire me button. They can click on this and then get in touch with you, because then they will realize, okay, this person have built 50 different dashboards, and some of them, okay, maybe that was in the beginning of the career. This is now whatever new stuff they have made, and it looks amazing. I need to get in touch with this person. And as I said, when you've built something, if you have something to share, like I did a couple or a week ago, I'm going to be participating in the Tableau conference tip battle in San Diego, where I'm going to go head to head against. We're 7 people. We have 1 minute each to present some tips, and then the winner of those 2 go to the next step and the next step, and so on. So we'll see if I'm going to have 1 minute in the spotlight, or if I'm going to actually have 3 minutes and then go to the final. We'll see. But using Tableau public, sharing this on X or on LinkedIn or any other social media platform you prefer, or what's mostly used wherever you are located. This is also a way of getting attention and sharing and getting in contact with other people. So people then also reach out to you and maybe ask, how did you do that, or can you come and talk about that somewhere? So that's something I do. I do a lot, and you will see very soon, the tiny Tableau tip. That's something that I do on Twitter or X every Wednesday. I've done that for a while. Also planning on doing this on LinkedIn, creating some videos and everything. But time doesn't. There's not enough time in the day. So a couple of tips when it comes to sharing on social media. Remember the hashtag, or not but multiple. If you're part of a community project, hashtag Makeover Monday or SportsViz Tuesday, hashtag Tableau, hashtag the data fam, hashtag whatever topic that you're presenting. Makes it also easier for other people to find these things when they go through it. Be kind and open, and be nice when people give you feedback. It's always coming from a good place, or at least mostly. Also do that with others. So give a thumbs up, or give a heart, or give whatever. Put in a comment to thank somebody if they have shared something that you like, or something that you actually have reused and used in your organization, for example. And then, but you can be part of these community projects, but also maybe you don't have time to do that, or you want to do something else. Where do I find data? There's so many open data resources out there. You can use Kaggle or data.world. If you find somebody's created something about Formula One, a beautiful dashboard on Tableau Public, just download the workbook, copy the data, and then build your own visualization or get your own insights out of that. Same goes also for the community projects. Or what a lot of people are doing as well, find your own data. If you are passionate about something, you might have the data for it as well, or you start collecting the data and then you present or build something based on that as well. Talked about the CV or the resume, build that in and share it on Tableau Public. There's always dashboards on Tableau Public with movie and sports and athletes and whatever, but also have real life data or near to real life. Obviously, we can't take your organization's data and put it on Tableau Public, but something similar or something something that is um, more user friendly when it comes to if you work for a company that sells products, then it's not that interesting to look at the dashboard about Homer Simpson, for example, unless you find some cool visualization that you can reuse. And apply for user groups, apply for conferences, try to talk about, share your knowledge, try to do those certification and talk about them as well on social media, whatever achievements that you that you that you get. If you do e-learning, if you get those badges, if you attended a training and the training was awesome, share that in social media as well. And I just wanted to put in this one, the Tableau conference, even though you're not going to San Diego, sign up for the Salesforce Plus anyway. It's for free, meaning that you will have access to live broadcasts during the conference, but also recordings afterwards. If you don't sign up, you won't have as many, or there's not that many that will be shared publicly. But of course, there's over 200 sessions. A lot of these are from the data fam or the community. So a lot of these will also be presented at upcoming user groups in the coming year. So if you're not able to watch anything at April 29th up to May 1st, you can still watch the recordings afterwards. So then I'm going to switch over to Tableau Desktop. And since this PowerPoint thing, I can keep this one up while I'm doing that. I'm not sure if there's any, is there any questions that have popped up in the chat or anybody would like to ask? I see that there's some links. Somebody put in some of the links. That's good.
I haven't seen any questions.
Yeah, Johan Lau is there. He's a Tableau ambassador.
Well, say hi, Johan.
Hi.
Hi, Andre. Dora, thanks for sharing. It's I take my hat off to people like yourself that is really that visionaries and the Jedi's. Great work.
Yeah, but also the ambassadors, or those who work in the academia. I'm doing also a lot of lectures at universities, which is really fun. Obviously, I have to rechange all my jokes to be relevant for people who are 20 years and not 40 plus that I often do normal training for. So that's that's always a challenge. So here we go. I'm going to do now for, let's see, is it 20 minutes I have left? Somebody needs to stop me if I spend too much time. I could talk now for 4 hours, but let's try to make it roughly 20 minutes. So I'm going to now share some of the tiny Tableau tip that I've shared. Some of these are from other people in the data fam. Obviously, I haven't invented all of these myself. But the first one, and you see that it's called Mic Drop TC24. So I'm going to use some of these also at that conference. But one was that I saw from one of the Flerich twins that, at least for those of you who have been following the Tableau community, knows about those two identical bald twins. There's a lot of bald men in data, but and I'm one of them. So we're going to take a group photo in in San Diego. But he presented that you could do spell checking if you were in the browser. If you are in the browser, you're editing something, and you can fix that, because Tableau so far haven't released any spell checks. So you see that I have a nice little sheet. What about these great tip then peoples? You see that there's some spelling mistakes in here, and I'm from Norway. Norway is my first language, so you can blame it on that. But what you need to do to make sure that you can actually fix your spell checks in Tableau, you need to have Grammarly installed. Grammarly is a free tool. You can also pay for it if you want to, but it's a free tool, meaning that when I click over here, you see that there's popping up a suggestion of two mistakes, 3 mistakes. You see that I can now do some spell check, or that's at least what you think you can do. I click accept. I'm going to skip the other one. You see that it didn't fix my error, and well, so that was so much for that tip. But I realized you need to open up any of these dialog boxes, because Tableau or sorry, Grammarly can't fix it when it's inside a dialog box like this. So if I now go in here and move this on the side and say accept, and then, well, punctuation you have to pay for, apparently. But now it, sorry, didn't it fix the last one, peoples? Accept in there as well. And then, come on. You know how it is. It shouldn't work when you showed, right? Maybe it really needs to be only fixed one at a time. Let's just believe me, right? It worked earlier today. Maybe I've spell checked too much. But this should work also if you have any caption, if you have a calculated field or anything else. It realize or find those spelling mistakes, and you can then go in and fix them as long as you open up the dialog box. Luckily, it didn't go to a blue screen yet. So I'll move on to another tip. If you have a dashboard, this is just one sheet inside of a dashboard, but you maybe have multiple things in there, but you would like to save some space, save some real estate in your dashboard. So I have different categories. If I now click on chairs, you see that it zooms in inside of the same container, so it doesn't take up more space. I zoom out again, I can select multiple, and it zooms in and it keeps these. Another thing that happens in here, if you pay attention to the axis, it goes to 400,000 roughly. If I click on this one is 335. If I click on envelopes, it doesn't zoom in, because then it would be a bit misunderstanding or misleading, because now it looks like the bar is as big as the other one. I could have just fixed the axis to say 400K, but what if you get new data? If you get suddenly sales over 500, then the blue bar would go outside of your bar. Oh, sorry, your sheet. So what have I done? I've created a calculated field, which is called max fixed sale. So at any point of time, it will find the highest sale, which is 335. And if you pay attention over here, there's a hidden reference line that is set to be this 335,000. So you have this calculation, fixed max sale, put it at maximum. You see it now on the right hand side. I don't show the line. I could have shown the line as well, but it's no point. The whole idea is to hide it. So it's there. There's no line. And when I then go back to this one, and whatever I click on, there is a reference line over there somewhere. I put the tooltip on so you could see it. So this is a way of cheating, but also getting the axis to stay fixed, and also saving some real estate in the view. I'll move on. This is something that everybody here who works in a company that requires you to build something, they say, please do some documentation. And obviously you do that. If you're a consultant, you do that. You put 10% in the end of your project. I'm going to do documentation. But suddenly that day you were supposed to do documentation, you have some other more important things to do. So never do the documentation because it's boring, takes time. One thing there, I'm going to show you a few documentation tips in here. So this is a nice little dashboard. Now in the newer versions of Tableau, you have the data guide, so you can look at some information over here. You can add description, you can add some accessibility, you can see what filters are applied, the data, and so on. But this one, you can't control C or copy or do anything with this one. Well, you can look at it, you can take a print screen. If you put in Control E, so the shortcut Control plus E, you get this sheet description dialog box, which contains more or less everything that was on the right-hand side plus more. So you see what kind of marks, what's on the shelves, what dimensions, measures. You even see that there's calculations in here, calculations with documentation in it, and you have the data source. You can copy this, paste it into your favorite documentation tool. You can also do that if you find you would like to know more about ship mode. Remember, you can right-click Describe, and you get a described field in here. You see what kind of role type, sort flags, and also the domain in here. This one can also be copied, put into whatever documentation tool you like. If you create calculate fields, over here I have a profit ratio, better profit ratio. If I right-click and edit on this, and then this is the problem with sharing screen. Have you ever experienced that? If you have two screens and you say edit, your calculator you don't find it. So I'm gonna do it a PC screen only. I'm probably gonna lose my screen for a second. This is a common problem with not Tableau, but with when you're sharing screen or have multiple up and running. So I'm just going to open my calculation window, give it a second, and then hopefully it will work again. So while I'm doing this, starting, which is always fun, that could you put in your favorite shortcut and keyboard? See if there's something that I didn't know before. Some screen running at my screen. My better yeah, I'm going to share something else. Control Alt Delete. Yeah, that's that's something that you need to do way too often. Set. Yeah, that's a classic. You can see my screen. Hope. Just because I can't hear anybody.
Yeah, we can see
Thank you.
Your screen.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah.
Sorry. My screen. So I have a profit ratio quick tip. If you hold in Control and use the mouse wheel or Control plus, and zoom into your we get
We lost Tori.
Yeah, I think we have.
Actually thought maybe it's something online, and but then we Lost him for a minute.
I think we might have a slight problem with the platform.
Yeah, that's something a lot of user groups are using LinkedIn Live or YouTube Live when it comes to presentations, because Bevy sometimes a bit crazy. Hopefully now you can see my in here.
Yes.
And I mentioned that always comment because you will come back and remember what kind of calculation you created. I have a calculator called profit ratio. You can see it down here. It's a calculus. It's an equal sign. So that you need to go. Normally, you might go here, say edit, and then you can. But then you lost the better, so you have to go back and forth. As long as the window where you have all your functions, if you click on the field, you'll be able your calculation on the right hand side using your observation or comment that added. You can also click on describe over here, and then you can copy paste if you and would like to know what is the profile, what does it actually look like. You can drag and drop stuff directly from a calculated field, and you will see the result in the background. But now I have of these calculated fields, but I don't have, even though I do describe, I don't want to describe and then all of my calculated fields. Often you have multiple. Let's then go to this one, Tableau Data Dictionary. Have you ever heard about the Tableau Data Dictionary? Created by a Tableau ambassador called Marcelo Haas. This one, in less than 5 clicks, you can generate your data dictionary for any Tableau workbook or Tableau packaged workbook. So you just click here, you browse, and then it's reading your packaged workbook that you have saved somewhere. And then I have cheated, so I've already done this. Then you will end up with this Excel sheet or the CSV file where you have the name of the data source, whatever column, data type. If you have a formula and you have a comment, obviously, that will be shown, and also the column type over there. And you don't have to copy paste multiple times. So this by Marcelo Haas, free to use. Just make sure that your IT or security officer approves that you upload your TWB or TWBX to be read by this tool, and then you get the results back. This is something that very often happened to me, especially when I doing what I've just done, switching screens or whatever. You see that my color legend is up here, the columns is here, and the rows take up a huge amount of space. You can restart, that doesn't help. You can obviously start dragging and dropping and fixing it like this. Or you can just right click in this gray area down here, reset cards, and everything is back to ship shape as it was before you messed it up, or your screen sharing actually messed it up. That took me some time to actually figure out myself when that happened first time. Couple of more tips. Give me a sign or let me know when I have 5 minutes to go, since I now lost my other screen and everything went tits up here. If you're looking at, I'm looking at this subcategory down here. I'm looking at the average discount, the profit, the sale, and so on. I can drag away the profit ratio for now, since that was from the previous tip. If I now take a copy of my measure values, I can put that on color. You see that, yeah, I'm already, that was the problem when I needed to restart this. When you put measure values on color, you see that it goes from minus 17 to plus 355. But the profit goes from minus 17, that's the one. But you see that the average discount is in percentage. So you can't even see any fluctuation in the values in there. You see some for these ones, but then again, 335,000 versus 56. So there's a quick fix to do that on the measure values pill. Every time you see a triangle on any pill or anywhere in Tableau, that means there's a menu. Anywhere you go, there is a menu as well if you just right click, more or less. But in this one, you can use separate legends. If I do that, it pops up with 3 different legends on the right hand side. So one is the profit from minus 17 till plus 56. Average discount goes from 7 till 36%. Now we can easily see that these ones are way darker than the other ones. And you can also go and change these colors individually. Everyone doesn't have to be the standard blue or whatever you like. So you can add in different type of colors that you have in the view. And also maybe you would like to do, since this is profit, it's either positive or negative. You can go and edit the colors, and then you can change, instead of having this diverging color from light orange to dark blue, you can change these steps. So maybe you only would like to have 2 steps. It's either positive or it's negative. And you see that this one doesn't affect the other ones. This is a nice way of using these separate legends, or you can combine them again if you want to. I saw that there was some shortcuts earlier here with well, Control Alt Delete, Control Set. One of the one I like to use quite a lot is Control M, because if I would like to create a new sheet next to this one, because I would like to do some math or whatever on this one, or I would like to do some changes. I could go over there and click new sheet, but that pops up all the way on the right hand side. And if you are like me, you might have 55 different sheets in there. Then I need to drag this all the way over here, or maybe I'm going to have it even further in the front. So there's a couple of things you can do to make this easier for yourself. This one, I think this is the one I published on Tableau, sorry, on X yesterday. These 3 icons, if you haven't seen these or used these, by default, it's showing the tabs. If you use this one, the film strip, you can see a preview of each and every sheet. And the best one is the sheet sorter, because then you see every one, or well, if you have more than filling this screen, then you have too many sheets in the dashboard. But now I can drag this one next to the copy paste, and then I can, next to the copy paste, and then I can double click, and I'm back to this view. So the sheet sorter is great, or you can use, if I'm now deleting sheet 18, if you use Control M, that's creating a new sheet directly next to the active one that you're in. So that's two different tips there. This copy paste, since I needed to restart and had forgotten to close it, just randomly picked a web page, obviously, the Nordic World Ski Championships. I know that you guys are really into winter sports, and especially Nordic combined. So I'm going to show you a tip where this is a table, as you can see. I now copy this table, Control C. I go back to Tableau and say Control V. I now have a clipboard over here. This is on my temp folder in my computer. I missed the R, so it's called ANK instead of rank, so that's fine. But I'm going to put in the nations in here. I'm going to put in the number of medals, and then I'm going to sort, and I can see that Norway is on top. So that Valid was here. He lives in Sweden, and we are way better than Sweden, always. Another quick tip, since we talked about shortcuts, if you're holding Control and use the arrows, you can increase the size of a table or a visualization like this. Or I'm just going to put entire view in here. So Norway is best again. Thank you for that. And then the final one, I think I'm getting close now, right, to the end. So I have this visualization where I have technology, and now I'm just going to, now it's, sorry about that, since I needed to restart. I have the technology, I have the furniture, and the office supplies. But I also have some other visualizations here. I have one which is just sorting all the subcategories. They have the same colors. I have one that shows the top 10 per state and province. I have the one that shows the top 10 profit for states. And then I just created one here, as you can see, that contains a line, a dark line over there. So the idea is to put these 4 different visualizations inside of the Visin tooltip, or in the tooltip. And it's easy enough to just go in here and go insert sheets and then put in a visualization like this. You will now see that it's filtered, so showing me the subcategories that are suitable. If I now would like to add more of these, maybe both this top 10 and the other top 10, it goes all the way down. It takes up quite a lot of space. So I would like to put the top one, this one, should be a lot wider, and this one should be moved up here and be next to the other top 10 list. How do we do that? Well, first of all, I'm going to make the first one a bit wider. So this is going to be 600. Sorry, that was the height. I'm going to do it on the width. That's the problem when Tableau should have a bit larger text. You can't do control. You can't zoom as you can do. You can zoom like this on this on the computer, but you can't zoom inside of this dialog box. And the trick of getting these two next to each other is basically just deleting the space or the enter or shift in here. So I'm going to say OK. Now you see that I have wider subcategory and then top 10 next to each other. Looks way nicer, and it also takes up way less space. But I also would like to add in a little line in between there. So I'm going to go into my tooltip, and between the first one and the second one, I'm going to insert my sheet, which is called Visin Tooltip 5. And obviously that shouldn't be 300 high. That should be maybe 5 pixel high. That was a bit too small, it looks like. Let me just double check. I have cheated, obviously, so I do have this in the captions. I'm just going to copy paste this. It should be 9, and it should be 600 wide. So always have a backup plan. Let's see. Now we have a nice little line. We have a vis in the top, and we have 2 vises further down next to each other. So this is now 20:02 my time. So I think I'll stop share and go back to the meeting. And hopefully there was something that you didn't know out of these.